This is it, dude. It is Monday, January 29th. This time next week, NADA will be over. We will be exhausted and energized. But today we're talking about autoless Super Bowl teams and ad takeover and consumer optimism. I said consumer optimism.
That's right.
We're going to talk about that.
It's real. Exhausted and energized. That is
kind of like after a great workout.
It is. It is exactly that is. I don't think I've ever said it that way.
Me neither.
That is the way that every auto event makes me feel.
Good morning to everybody on the live stream. It's good to have you here. We obviously have a full, busy week coming up because the NADA show is kicking off on Thursday. Some things Wednesday night, but really Thursday is when the education and the outside events, bolt-on events start going on. We will be there in full force, covering it from start to finish. Make sure you do a couple of things if you're listening to the podcast or watching the live stream. Number one, sign up for the email. We're going to be dropping a lot of the content in that email, maybe even a special email or two. Go to ASOTU.com. Right there at the top, put your name on, and you'll get like a really great email every day that you'll enjoy reading. Secondly, go to LinkedIn and follow ASOTU, because we're going to be live streaming live events. We're going to be posting a lot of content, a lot of pictures. So if you can't be there, our goal is to make you feel like you were there as much as humanly possible. So those two things, big time. Today we are releasing, we do have a lot of other content still going. Our regular content stream is still going on. One of those things is a podcast we call Auto Collabs. COLLABS, and today we are releasing an insane interview with Troy Duhan, who is it Prestige? Monday morning brain. 45-store auto group from Louisiana, and let me just tell you this: I left this
Premier Automotive.
Oh, so close. Premier Auto Group, and I left, and I believe you did too. Left this interview incredibly inspired.
Wildly inspired. And then right after that, he stayed on for another 5 minutes and I got more inspired. So you got to get to know Troy Duhan. You can search him on the Google machine if you don't know who Troy Duhan is. And he's splattered everywhere, all over the place. He's got a lot of stuff in nonprofits and dealerships and making movies.
He's an executive producer of major motion pictures. So there's always that too. That's going to be streaming from our LinkedIn page and our other social platforms at 1 p.m. today. So that's also a fun place to catch it. So you can drop into the comments, say hello. Obviously, NADA is coming in hot Thursday, and we have 106 days till ASOTUCon. Not that we're counting. I have some big stinking announcements to drop this week about ASOTUCon. Today.
We're dropping big announcements here today.
Are we dropping them here or just later?
Should we tell the people today, right now?
Okay.
We're dropping it on social today. I mean, what are we doing?
If
you're listening, you're like our people.
Yeah, we'll tell them. You get to drop the info.
This year, we are so excited to announce that the keynote speaker on the end of the second day of ASOTUCon will be none other than the author of Unreasonable Hospitality and former owner of 11 Madison Park, Will Guidara. And we could not be more excited as Team ASOTU. We've started to see it pop up all over LinkedIn that other people are reading the book, having him speak, and we're going to bring him in ASOTU style and have him share all about what it looks like to bring hospitality to the auto industry, which we care a lot about.
I know we almost had him last year as well. And just the dates, he had to be in a different place. So like we were thinking about this a year ago. This year we're making it happen. You go to ASOTUCon.com. We do have some speakers up. We also have another great partnership thing happening with ASOTUCon. We're going to announce soon. We have some of the speakers up, right? They're going to be a boatload of amazing speakers. We just put a little drip on the website just so you can see. So yeah, there you go. A lot going on. So pay attention. Let's talk about some news. It's kind of current events too. Speaking of, I don't know. I'm not even going to segue into this one. Yesterday was a disappointing day, unless you're a 49ers fan or you're a Chiefs fan, especially for the auto industry. The Lions ended up losing. I felt like I was watching the Eagles play in the second half. It didn't feel good. It just overall disappointing. But now that the automotive team, so let's just give our condolences to those who had a team that lost. And I feel like I had resolved when the Eagles were out. Kind of expected that, but then my hopes were so high for the Lions. I felt like I was back in the fight. But now that Automotive's team, the Detroit Lions, were eliminated from Super Bowl contention last night by the 49ers. Congratulations, David Spizak. It looks like the industry will be back to talking about the manufacturers that will be running commercials during the big game in just 2 weeks from now. So Toyota has actually done an about face on their initial decision to skip the big game and is now set to make a big splash at Super Bowl 58 with a national TV advertisement engaging and some experiential things on site. I don't know how they pull things together this quickly, but the company views its decision to participate. Yeah, that always helps. Thank you. So they see this as obviously a perfect reason for a high-end creative execution, and the timing of the launch of the 2024 Tacoma just makes sense. So now there are 4, Kyle. Now Toyota, BMW, Volkswagen, who is always fun, and Kia, who has come on super strong in the last year.
They're great on the commercial game.
Are all building hype around the big game. I mean,
I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful that Auto comes in swinging. I feel like Popeyes is going to win the commercial, the big game commercial. We'll see. I don't know if you've seen all the little mini drops on the Popeyes. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But let's see if Auto can do a thing. And now that Auto is out from like a manufacturing center and all we got to cheer on is Swifties, might as well watch some great Auto commercials.
I've never.
Did you see the American Airlines
Super Bowl in my life? I did. They have 2 direct flights from Canada. I know. Look, I've literally last night when the game ended, I was like, I don't think I'm watching the Super Bowl this year. I literally was there. This morning, I'm rethinking my position a little bit, but I mean, let's just be honest. It's so hard when you love a team so much, and the 49ers are just like making their way up next to the Cowboys, and the Chiefs were already there. So if you're an Eagles fan, you're like, I don't know who I want to lose. It's tough, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it for the commercials this year. And
speaking of watching it for the commercials,
yes, thank you for getting me out of that one. I was trapped in a glass cage of emotion. Amazon is shaking up the streaming world by introducing ads to Prime Video, a move expected to add over, get this, $5 billion to its existing $38 billion ad business. Oh, so much money. Starting today, Prime viewers, when you log into Prime, you're going to see an in-stream ad placing Amazon in direct competition with all the traditional linear TV giants, as well as the other streaming services that are already on the bandwagon. So big difference here. Amazon has a massive, massive, massive amount of consumer data. 70% of American households have an account, making it obviously a very targeted platform for advertisers to be placing their content in because of the targeting. Despite some pushback, their proposed ad rates are competitive with a lot of other platforms, placing it about $30 to $35 cost per 1,000 views. Smaller advertisers are saying are maybe more beneficial because they have access to a larger audience. And so Netflix has something to say, right? Netflix recently announced ads, and Netflix is saying, the CEO says, we've got the most engaged audience watching the most culture-defining film series and live events, and that's why brands should be here. However, Amazon's like, we know what everybody buys and where they live and when they're watching. So that's why you should watch it here. John Morgenstern, the executive vice president, head of investment at the ad holding company VaynerX. You all know VaynerMedia. It's not really just an ad holding company, but obviously very in touch with culture, very in touch with ads. He says it seems a little expensive. He'd like to see the cost come down to the high teens. He said, however, if they can match back the business results to the placements because of their data, it doesn't matter what it costs. So if you don't want to watch any more ads, it's going to cost you a whopping $3.
$3 per month. They're going to come get you. They've said, even Amazon, and I think the Bank of America study was like, we only expect about 1/3 of the users to actually upgrade it. So the rest of the people are going to be having it. I texted our good friends at Cognition
thinking about them
this morning. The ads start running today, just so like if you're with an Amazon provider, they should be able to run these ads via the OTT platform. But this immediately, like overnight, puts Amazon in the driver's seat as they have the most monthly active users of any streaming platform running ads now.
Boom.
Like immediately they start running ads, most monthly active users, because they have the most people that are paying for their services and on their services.
That's unbelievable. Big opportunity for Auto.
Massive opportunity. And the targeting is so insane because you get like all of this purchase data, all of this shopping. Like, how many times are people interacting with their device with Amazon on cross app tracking, all of the stuff that Amazon gets the access to that all these other streaming providers don't? Whew. Wow. Yep. Nuts.
Just think of like they know you're on your app and watching at the same time. How many like think about that? How many other streaming services are like, are you on the app live and it's on the screen and they know that?
Oh my goodness. Hyundai is like literally just so excited.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, they right now.
See, now there's the Super Bowl thing. Well, I guess it's not on Amazon Prime, but Thursday Night Football is going to be a real thing this year. Speaking of consumer optimism.
Consumer optimism.
I mean, it's kind of close, kind of tight.
Americans are definitely feeling a surge of optimism about the economy. Rising stock prices, falling gas prices, lower egg prices, that's always a tell, are responsible for this shift in sentiment, marking the end of what experts are calling the vibe session. This reflects a more positive outlook on personal finances and inflation, despite the underlying economic concerns or conditions remaining largely unchanged. So even though like our general economic conditions are not changed, the consumer optimism is higher. You've got record highs for the Dow, record highs for the S&P 500, lower gas prices than we've seen in a long time, falling to under $3.10 a gallon after being up over $5 just 2 years ago in 2022. The cost of eggs, here's a wild one, down from $4.25 a year ago to $2.51. That's almost a 50% reduction in the cost.
It's actually very similar to the gas percentage.
Wow.
I'm looking at that now. So wild. The egg one always makes me laugh. Always. It's like how many Kyle, how many dozen eggs do you buy in a week?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's probably like 3 to 5.
Okay. So it makes a $6 difference in your personal budget. There's something about it, though, that has consumer mindset shifting. Oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, because you always have to walk to the back of the store, so you know you're picking up 30 other things on the way, right? Like
it's still, I mean, but the gas prices obviously make sense, right? That is an everyday real-time indicator posted everywhere you drive, right? Yep. You get a little barometer on where the economy is. But I like the fact that they called it a vibe session. Right? Like recession. It's like the vibes are what's changing consumer optimism because people were feeling really bad. The vibe was bad, but now all of a sudden the vibe upswing. A lot of people actually have money in the stock market where you're saying like, well, I don't have any stock market. Well, likely you have some retirement or 401k or friends that do, or parents that do that are talking about it at the dinner table. And so this is one of those things where we'll see if it's an actual recovery or not. And that's what a lot of the experts are saying. Like there's still a lot of way to go.
The question marks are still around interest rates.
What's the Fed's going to do with interest rates, right? Because the argument said like the more optimistic people get, the lower jobs get, like the less likely they are to actually curb, and inflation's less likely to curb. So it is very this like chicken and egg concept. But the thing we're going to do to tie this back down to what's happening every day in the store, consumers are feeling up, right? So what do you do when consumers are feeling up? Well, you talk about feeling up. You contribute to the momentum, right?
It's like momentum forward. Yes, exactly.
And then obviously with the interest rate situation, or, that's big conversation over leasing or purchasing. Look, this is just a good time to enjoy the up mentality. You're going to see, I'd like to hear from some people, right? Like, what are you seeing walk in the showroom? That'd be a good survey. Like, does Frontline Automotive feel like people are walking in a little bit taller, right? Like I just paid $250 for a dozen eggs. Let me spend a little more on my monthly payment, right? I don't know.
$6 more.
I don't know about all that.
A week.
Yeah, a week. It's 24.
Get them on the old eggs close. $24 a month.
$24 a month. I mean, now you can buy that extra warranty. I don't know why I hit that trigger pad, but it feels like I don't know. I think that was supposed to be the outro. It was supposed to be the outro.
Let's get out of here.
But regardless, everybody, we hope you have an amazing day. We're kicking off an amazing week of coverage. Make sure you sign up for the email. Follow us on LinkedIn. We will be here all week and then at NADA.